of his time to me?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The point I want to ask you, Mr. Prince, is we appreciate what you've done, but looks like a lot of people in the U.S. military don't appreciate it. One man, Army Colonel Teddy Spain, said, I personally was concerned about any of the civilians running around on the battlefield during my time there. My main concerns were their lack of accountability when things went wrong. Another senior U.S. military official said, we had guys who saw the aftermath, meaning aftermath of your activities there. It was very bad. This is going to hurt us badly. And then we had Secretary of Defense Robert Gates. These incidents may be uncommon. We don't know how common they are, but let's assume that they are uncommon. I believe that they still have disproportionate impact on the Iraqi people. We have people who are conducting themselves in a way that makes them an asset in this war, not a liability. You're not answerable to the U.S. military, are you? You report to the State Department. You're under contract to state, isn't that right?
In Iraq, we report to the State Department. But if I could just add...
So your people aren't under the same rules as the U.S. military?
We operate under defensive rules of engagement.
Will the gentleman yield? Actually, Mr. Chairman, if I could reclaim my time in responding. Mr. Prince, you've provided the committee a detailed list of the regulations, treaties, laws that you operate under. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, and that includes items that relate to both Department of State and Department of Defense?
It includes laws like MIJA, the UCMJ, all of which we can be held accountable, our people can be held accountable for while operating overseas. And let me just answer, Mr. Chairman, about whether we're adding value to the military or not. I have to say my proudest professional moment was about a year and a half ago. I spoke at the National War College. And after my speech, a colonel, full-bird colonel, came up to me afterwards, and he said, you know, I just came back from Brigade Command in Baghdad. I had 4,000 or 5,000 guys working for him. He said as his guys were driving around the city, on the tops of their dashboards of their Humvees were the Blackwater call signs and the frequencies, because his soldiers knew that if they got in trouble, the Blackwater guys would come for them. They would come to their aid and assist them, medevac them, and help them out of a tough spot.
Well, Brigadier
so if that's the reputation we have...
Well, Brigadier General Carl Horst said these guys run loose in this country and do stupid stuff. There's not authority over them, so you can't come down on them when they escalate force. They shoot people, and someone else has to deal with the aftermath. It happens all over the place. Security contractors in Iraq under scrutiny after shootings. What do you say?
Sir, I can also tell you there's 170-some security companies operating through Iraq. We get painted with a very broad brush of a lot of the stuff they do. On an almost weekly basis, we get a contact from someone in DOD, some talk somewhere that says, oh, 3 Blackwater guys were just taken hostage here, 4 guys were killed there, oh, you're involved in a shooting over here. When we fully investigate, we didn't have any teams of guys within 100 miles of that location. But if a private security contractor did it, it often gets attributed to us.
Yeah, well, regardless of what private security contractor does it, it's a problem for the United States. Mr. Platt, you were kind enough to yield me time. I'll be, without objection, I'd like to give you another 30 seconds.
If you could, and I was going to yield to the ranking member. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I appreciate your questions, but let me just say, Mr. Chairman, for the sake of argument, you're right. If we're paying too much and getting too little, what's the answer? More troops in Iraq? Less safe troops? Less safe diplomats? Or less safe members? I mean, this is the trade-off. This is what we're trying to explore here. They're contractors. At the end of the day, we have to look to the government who is contracting this out, putting down the rules of engagement, and they'll be on our next panel. He's just performing his contract at this point, and I think we have questions that we can ask the State Department. But the alternatives, none of them are attractive when you're in a war zone.
Gentleman's time has expired. Mr. Tierney.
Thank you, Mr.